You are listening to Daily News on Vihaba channels. This is our series of providing the latest updated news about all business-related aspects in the international business, especially the Vietnamese market. 2022 is forecast to be a year with many opportunities for countries around the world to promote international trade. In the first month, Vietnam recorded strong growth, especially for agricultural products. Vietnamese cashew nuts are increasingly popular in the market. With coffee products, global coffee reserves fall to their lowest level in more than 2 decades. Vietnam's coffee exports in 2022 are forecast to continue to be positive, including exports to Greece. The sixth news: Vietnam's coffee exports to Greece will be better in 2020. It is forecasted that in 2020, Vietnam's coffee export to Greece will be better thanks to the EVFTAs. The Agency of Foreign Trade, citing data from European statistics agencies, said that Greece's coffee imports in the first 11 months in 2021 reached 48.94 thousand tons, worth €221.25 million, up 11.1% in volume and 19.5% in values over the same period of 2020. The average import price of Greek coffee reached €2,521 per ton, an increase of 7.6% over the same period in 2020. The average import price of Greek coffee increased in many markets, such as Brazil, Vietnam, Colombia, and Honduras. Vietnam is the third largest coffee supplier in terms of volume to Greece, reaching 2.87 thousand tons in 11 months of 2021, worth €4.78 million, down 30.8% in volumes and 12.3% in values over the same periods of 2020. The complicated developments of the COVID-19 epidemic is considered to be the reasons why the coffee trade between Greece and Vietnam did not go smoothly in 2021. However, according to the forecast, Vietnam's coffee exports to Greece will be better. The EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement will have Vietnam's coffee industry gain a competitive advantage over countries that do not have a trade agreement with the EU. The first news cited for Vietnam's strong growth in import and export in 2022. With favorable conditions from new trade agreements, Vietnam has many opportunities to develop import and export strongly in 2022. In the first month of 2022, Vietnam's import and export activities have shown signs of improvement. According to the General Statistics Office of Vietnam, in January 2022, export turnover of goods reached $29 billion, up 1.6% over the same period last year. The import turnover of goods reached $29.5 billion, up 11.5% over the same period last year. The reason is not only the recovery of foreign markets and consumer demand, but also the effective implementation of FTAs, especially new generation FTAs, such as EVFTAs, CPTPP, and UKVFTAs. In particular, in 2020, The EU market faced difficulty due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but in the first 5 months of implementing EVFTAs, it has positive growth, instead of the previous negative growth, reaching 3.8%. The next 7 months achieves a growth rate of 70.8%. In early 2022, exports to EU continue to maintain growth. Those are the initial effects that EVFTA brings. According to the Minister of Industries and Trade, in 2022, it is necessary to continue to develop import-export mechanisms and policies under the situation at home and abroad. In particular, coordinate to promote production activities according to the market signals, produce products that meet standards and regulation for exports to the major markets and FTA partners markets. In that growth trend, agricultural products, key export products of Vietnam, are forecasted to have many positive and strong development signs. The second news, many prospects for exporting agricultural products to the EU in 2022. Vietnam's Ministries of Industry and Trade forecast that key agricultural products such as coffee, cashew nuts, vegetables, rice, exports to the EU will continue to grow strongly in 2022. In particular, coffee will continue to take advantage of the 0% tax rate under the Vietnam's EU Free Trade Agreement. This is to increase the sales of total demand of 10 billion USD per year that the EU has. The demand cashew nut consumption in the two largest markets in the EU, the Netherlands and Germany, continued to increase at the end of 2021 due to the high demand from food processing industries and consumer demands. This shows a positive prospect of cashew nut export to the EU in 2022. Notably, under the EVFTAs, EU countries commit to eliminating tariffs on paper products as soon as the agreement comes into effect, especially for processed products that previously has a tax rate from 5 to 9%. Thus, Vietnam's paper exports are facing many advantages in EU's market. Besides, the fact that EU investors are considering moving their processing plants to Vietnam will create a driving force to promote paper exports to diverse EU markets. It is forecasted that in 2022, unground black peppers and unground white peppers will continue to be the two product lines, accounting for the main export proportion of these items. Along with many opportunities in strong import and export of agricultural products, cashew products from Vietnam are expected to expand markets and grow rapidly in 2022. The third news, Vietnamese cashew nuts are increasingly popular in the market. The world cashew nut industry has grown rapidly in the past decades, thanks to the increased consumption of cashew nuts around the world, especially in developed and emerging economies. Vietnam's cashew nuts with increasing outputs and high qualities are forecasted to continue to grow positively and have positive trends. The global raw cashew nut market is forecasted to grow an average of 4.27% in the period from 2020 to 2025, reaching about 7 billion USD by 2025. According to CPI EU, in 2021, the retail price of cashew nuts in Europe will continue to decrease, boosting consumer demands in the EU's areas. In particular, due to the distance measures, consumption in the industrials and food services segment decreased significantly. Vietnam plays the role of world's leading cashew nut export markets. The Ministries of Industries and Trade said that 2021 is a successful year for Vietnam's cashew exports, with export volume reaching 579.8 thousand tons, worth $3.64 billion USD, an increase of 12.6% in the volume and an increase of 30.3% in value compared to 2020. It is forecasted that in 2022, Vietnam's cashew nut exports will continue to grow positively thanks to the global consumer taste, increasingly flavored products with health benefits and long shelf life. The tax rate for cashew nut processing products imported to the EU from Vietnam will be reduced to 0% immediately after the EVFTA comes into effect from August 1, 2020. This reduction is important because before the EVFTA took effect, the tariff on cashew nuts imported into the EU from Vietnam ranged from 7 to 12%. Therefore, there is still a lot of room for the growth of cashew nut exports in the European market, as well as taking advantage of the EU's Vietnam Free Trade Agreements is one of the roles that these industries achieve. The fourth news: global coffee reserves fall to their lowest level in more than 2 decades. Besides impressive developments in many agricultural products, the global coffee reserves have dropped in the most in more than 2 decades. Global coffee reserves are increasingly depleted due to the high global transportation costs and unfavorable crops in Brazil. This may continue to push up world coffee prices. Reserve premium Arabica beans totals 1,078 million bags, or about 143 million pounds, according to data released by the ICE Futures US on February 7th. This is the lowest inventory level recorded by the New York Exchange since February 2000. Brazil now accounts for 39% of inventories, down from 55% in 2021. Coffee stocks have been reduced since September 2021 due to the high transportation costs. At the same time, expert weather reduced production in Brazil, the world's largest coffee grower and exporters. The degree in inventory is a big concern because countries producing coffee products do not import enough raw material from abroad. It is a sign that demand is exceeding supply and is a condition for prices to rise. Coffee prices have hit multi-year highs. Currently, Arabica accounts for 75% of the world's production and is mainly grown in Brazil, with 40% of the world's total supplies, and Colombia. Robustas account for the remaining 25% and is largely produced in Vietnam, with 50% of the global supplies, and Indonesia. Although the world's coffee market tends to decrease, Vietnamese coffee beans in 2022 are predicted to have more positive growth. The fifth news: Vietnam's coffee exports in 2022 are forecasted to continue to be positive. thanks to an abundant supply and free trade agreements creating a competitive advantage. Vietnam's coffee exports in 2022 will be very positive. According to the Agency of Foreign Trade, Ministries of Industries and Trade, in 2021, despite the negative impacts of the COVID-19 epidemic, Vietnam's coffee export value still grew by double digits, thanks to the increased export prices. In 2021, the values of Vietnam's coffee export to most regions increased compared to 2020, except for Oceania. Statistics show that the values of Vietnam's coffee export to Asia increased by 23%. The share of Vietnam's coffee export to Asia increased from 38.02% in 2020 to 41.5% in 2021. The U.S. Department of Agriculture also forecast that in the 2021 and 2022 crop years, Vietnam's coffee output is forecasted to reach 31.1 million bags, thanks to the favorable weather conditions. Along with that, free trade agreements, especially in the EU, which creates a great export potential for Vietnam. Vietnam's coffee export structure has changed, reducing the export of raw coffee beans, promoting processing and exporting of roasted, ground, and instant coffees. To meet the strict requirements of the market, in addition to improving product qualities, the coffee industry needs to focus on traceability and improve production capacities. With the positive development of Vietnamese coffees, the export of coffee to Greece is expected to increase rapidly and expand significantly. That it is for Vihaba News here on Vihaba Podcast. Do stay with us because we will have many upcoming news on the agricultural sectors. Subscribe to our podcast channel for the latest news. Thank you for listening to Vihaba News.